हाँ ठीक है प्रभु जी ऐसे
Hare Krishna, everybody, Dhamma Pranam. Everybody, if you can please come a little bit closer. So today we are very, very happy to have His Grace Shyamananda Krishna Prabhu. So a little bit to share about Prabhuji. So Prabhuji is a disciple of His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj. He has been practicing Krishna consciousness for the last 15 years. In 2014, Prabhuji decided to join full-time and dedicated his life to Krishna's service. Prabhu is the temple president of ISKCON Grand Rapids at Michigan. He single-handedly and lovingly and caringly developed the congregation in Grand Rapids and is now working on building the congregation in Lansing, Michigan. Prabhu is a very active preacher among both Westerners and Indians. He has served in ISKCON Farmington Hills, Michigan temple for 9 years. He is running multiple Bhakti Vriksha programs among the multiple communities, online and in person. Prabhuji has done his master's in robotics engineering from University of Michigan, Ann Arbor. So we are very, very happy to have you, Prabhu. So yesterday we did the first session of the Japa workshop. So today will be the second session. So let us all welcome Prabhu with a loud Texas style Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
No, I'm not. Can I share that? Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
Kunja Bihari
Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridhari
ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपां साग्रजातां सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदां सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्ते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं जायते यत्कृपातमहं श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरं। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशकारिणे। जयतो शुभतो भंगो मम मन्दा मुझे प्रति मत्सर्वस्या पदां भोजो नमो मनो दिव्या वृंदावन कल्पाधुमादा श्रीमद्रत्नाकर सिंहासनस्थो श्रीमद् राधा श्रीमद् गोविंद देव पृष्ठादि सेव्यमानो स्मरामि श्रीमन्दासनरसारम्भे श्रीमठा ततस्तथा कलशमेन स्वमे गोपी गोपीनाथा श्री कृष्ण। Very grateful to you for joining. Will we just get out the name of devotees and begin? My name is Shyamananda Krishna Das. I think I'm meeting all of you for the first time, and then I usually never this is the time you will please come then. And okay, we'll try. We'll never go out of Michigan, just travel within Michigan. This is the day. We'll start giving your name. What a name? Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Bala Prabhu. Bala Prabhu. Down in Thailand.
Arun Chaitanya.
Arun Chaitanya. Ayush. Arush.
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 Pankaj Radha. Pankaj Radha.
Pankaja Radha Devi. Abhinav Prabhu, and below you,
Hare Krishna. Sharda.
Sharda Devi. We have some youngsters, huh? Janaki, Surasya,
Srilasya.
Srilasya,
Srimati Devi.
Srimati Devi. Very nice.
Divija.
Divija,
Avanija.
Avanisha. Are you both sisters? No, not
Yes,
sisters.
my sisters.
Okay, yes, thank you. Okay, thank you. This is from yesterday. We were discussing about something that can help improve our chanting. And yesterday we were discussing about one important aspect of receiving the blessings of Vaishnavas, the pilgrims. We saw the example of Ramchandra Puri and Ishwar Puri, and we saw how Madhvendra Puri blessed Ishwar Puri because he was engaged in menial services. Even Chaitanya Charitamrita explains even the student living of Madhvendra Puri is menial service. Because Madhvendra Puri, although pure devotee, even if one is a pure devotee, the body is sometimes it may break. I mean, so Madhvendra Puri we discussed yesterday, he is a Kalpa Vriksha in Gurukula. And he is not an ordinary Kalpa Vriksha. He is like, there is a particular place. You have heard about this verse, Shriman, what is the second verse that we chanted? Shri Radha Govinda Devo Krishna will say on Swanam. What is the beginning of that?
Divya.
Shriman Divya Nandara Kalika Jumata. Shriman Ratnandana Sammasanamsto. This particular verse describes a place in Vrindavan where there is a daily pastimes of Lord Krishna on the bank of Yamuna. There is a tree. Under that tree, Shri Radha Govinda performed their pastimes in the night. And in that place, many times, even Srimati Radharani's personal servants and friends are also not involved in those pastimes. But the only personality who participate in the pastimes, loving pastimes of the Lord, is a Kalpavriksha tree, under whom the pastime happens. That Kalpavriksha tree came as Sri Padmadhara tree. That Kalpavriksha tree completely understands the loving mood of Shri Radha and Govinda. We hear that there is a verse, last verse spoken by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Siksha Ashtaka, Aske Shiva Padagatam Pinashtana, Adarshana Nagmahatam Karotuva, Yatha Tathava Vidadhata Lampato, Bhaktana Nakastu Sarila Naparaha. It is described only three people understand the meaning of this verse. And who are those? One is Srimati Radharani, because she spoke. One is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because he is Radharani Mood, Radha Bhava Priti Suvardhan Nama Krishna Sarupa. And one is Sri Padmadhara. This is a exotic question, Sri Padmadhara. And when he was about to end his earthly pastime, that time Ishwar Puri rendered menial service. What a blessing. Because of which Madhvendra Puri blessed him with pure devotion in this life. And there was Ramchandra Puri, who became deviated and he gave suggestion to his spiritual master. If you cannot remember Krishna, why cry so much? Just Aham Brahmasmi, remember Brahman and perfect your life. Madhvendra Puri was unhappy. He was like, people, get out from here and I never want to see your face again. If I see your face, I will not get affection. So because of which he was blessed, Ramchandra Puri was blessed with the great quality of orphan. So wherever he went, he would see part of devotees. He would see part of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he would see part of him, although there is no fault. He would see part of all the associates of the Lord. And if you see, the Lord does not interfere when a devotee passes. Amoga was cursed by Amoga was not cursed. Amoga just criticized the Lord. Material nature cursed him with cholera. But Mahaprabhu went and delivered him. But Ramchandra Puri, Mahaprabhu, anybody he looked at, he gave love about it. Chaitanya explains. But Ramchandra Puri, he did not deliver. Ramchandra Puri became a ghost in the next life. But he did not do anything, right? Because Madhavendra Puri, the Lord never crosses against pure devotees in that. If Madhavendra Puri cursed, Gopal Chapala criticized Srivastava. Amoga criticized Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Amogha received love of God at same night. Both were contracted with disease. One leprosy, one cholera. Mahaprabhu did not forgive Gopal Chapla. He said, I want you to suffer for many, many billions of lifetimes. He told Amogha, why did your envy act in your heart? Being a Brahmana, your heart is meant to be pure. Why did you act it out of envy? Amogha chant the name of Krishna. One name of Krishna is enough for Amogha to be the love of God. If it comes out, it doesn't matter. One name to Nisal one name is enough for Amogha to see the love of God. This Kripa Siddha. Same criticism, bodily disease, but Gopal Chakra suffered because Lord never interferes when a devotee is unhappy. And because he because um, Ramchandra Puri, the thing was Ramchandra Puri was cursed by Madhavendra Puri and Madhavendra Puri left the body. So Ramchandra Puri has no other option but to keep suffering. Gopal Chakla has the option to beg forgiveness from Srivastava. He was sick. But Mahaprabhu did not give him the solution right away. First he told you keep on suffering. Then Mahaprabhu took sannyas, went to South India, came back, then went to Ramkeli on the way he came. And then he met Gopal Chakla in Kolhapur. And then he was still suffering, but he was humble. Sometimes, sometimes, um, sometimes disease, sometimes failure. It helps us to take a humble position. And sometimes it is needed for us to come to the right consciousness of devotion, right attitude of bhakti. And then he told him, Srivas Thakur, you beg forgiveness. He was saved. But there is nobody to beg forgiveness for Ramchandra Devi. So Mahaprabhu does not take it. But on the other hand, because Ishwar Puri blessed, then may you be blessed with your devotion, Ishwar Puri Kant. Now there are two kinds of devotees. One is Kripa Siddha, one is Sadhana Siddha. With our own sadhana, we cannot attain perfection actually. We can attain perfection by Kripa, but our sadhana is an instrument to attract the Kripa of the Lord and devotees. There is another example, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was teaching on the importance of, see, what are devotees meant for? Devotees are meant to be worshipped. Devotees are very dear to the Lord. But when we come to the society of Krishna consciousness, we may not see devotees as they are somebody who meant to be worshipped. We cannot very careful. And then if we ever dealings with a devotee is not very proper, especially when the dealings with the devotee is triggered by envy, then the reaction will be there. For us, for the Holy Name to reciprocate with us, we must observe carefully about the 10 offenses. And what is the first offense to the Holy Name? What is the first offense? First offense to Holy Name?
To blaspheme.
And what is it used in Padma Purana? What is the Sanskrit? It says. My voice is clear? Not very clear?
It's audible.
But is it like Gunjana? Clarity is there? Okay. So it is called Sadhu Nimba. What is Sadhu Nimba? Sadhu Linda.
Cursing the devotees.
Sadhu Linda. Then the holy name. Now Prabhupada gave an extra definition. Prabhupada says to bless the devotees who are helping in chanting the holy name, spreading the glories of the holy name. But actually, this sadhu Linda. And who is a sadhu? Who is a sadhu? What is the definition of sadhu?
Actually, anyone who has taken the Lord Hari's name once in Islam.
Great. Is a sadhu. What is Rupa Goswami instruction on how to deal with sadhus? Nectar of instruction.
Yeah, so on, loving exchange between.
That is one.
Yeah.
And how to deal with different kinds of sadhus. What does Rupa Goswami say in Upadeshamrita?
Pay
Yes.
obeisances.
Yes.
Pay obeisances.
To whom?
When you see a devotee, you have to have a smiling face and
Pay obeisances. And anything else? There are three conditions.
Yeah, Madhyamadika is, I mean, you're talking about like,
Uh,
yeah, so you be merciful and to the Kanishta Adhikaris, and for Madhyam Adhikaris, you
you mentally honor those who are Kanishthadikaris. You physically go down to those who are Madhyamadikaris. And you serve those who are Uttamadikaris. So Rupa Goswami has shown by his own example, by his teachings, how to deal with Vaishnavas. Kanishthadikari means one who chant the holy name of Krishna once. Even to them, Rupa Goswami says, you mentally honor. So does Rupa Goswami leave any scope for mental criticism to any kind of devotees? Now, does Kanishthadikari has envy? Maybe. Anger? If somebody becomes angry at you, what should you do? According to Rupa Goswami, somebody becomes angry at you, what should you do? Tolerate, and what is the next? Forgive, very good. And as per this verse,
avoid the situation.
avoid the situation is very good. As per this verse that we just spoke, what does Rupa Goswami want us to do with somebody who criticizes you? You are great nonsense. I have not seen such a person like you. What should we do? Rupa Goswami, instruction. Mentally honor. Somebody is becoming angry, somebody is becoming critical. Mentally honor is for lowest grade. Physically go down to those who are Madhyamadika. Doesn't give any scope. What does Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says the prerequisite to be able to chant the holy name of Krishna? What does Mahaprabhu say? If somebody says, Prabhu, what should be your mode of chanting? I mean, we discussed one mode yesterday. But what should be your mode of chanting? But what does Chaitanya Mahaprabhu only instruction about how to chant?
There is no precondition. I mean, anybody can.
Yes. Here with us Vandana Kala. And how can we chant the name of Krishna?
With humility, with
Ah.
tolerance.
And
Humility and tolerance.
and
Love. No.
everything is actually Krishna, but every answer is correct. But something related to this verse also. Shiksha. What are the four things? What are the four things to do?
Humility, tolerance.
Then,
Amarina Manadana.
what does that mean?
No, I mean, not intending any respect from others and giving respect to others.
Highly actually. Giving respect to others, giving all respect to others means it's same with Rupa Goswami instruction. Mentally honor those who are finished. giving all respect to others. It doesn't matter what the quality of the devotee is. This is a beautiful pastime where you see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was going to Gaya. Ishwarpuri came. Ishwarpuri was blessed with pure devotion. Then he came. He stayed for a few months in Navadvip. And Mahaprabhu invited him. Ishwarpuri gave him a book to see where he falls. Mahaprabhu gave the fault, and then Ishwarpuri said, "All right," he changed it. Then he came back to Niyamaya Pandit. He said, "I thought about it, but the suggestion you gave is wrong. I think what I wrote is right." And Mahaprabhu accepted defeat. You all have heard about this last time. So Mahaprabhu defeated what is worshipper of Durga Saraswati.
Oh yeah, the Kashmir.
Keshav
Keshav
Kashmir.
Kashmir.
Mahaprabhu defeated him, but Mahaprabhu very gladly accepted defeat from Ishwarpuri. Like I said, we should be very eager to accept defeat from our seniors. When they say something, see, surrender is very high. Osama Maha says we don't understand what surrender is. It will take us long time to actually understand what surrender is. Because many times we hear and then we convince ourselves how I am still right. Anyone had an experience? And we still continue doing what we want to do. And surrender, actually Krishna speaks to devotees. But sometimes we take a long time to understand what Krishna is speaking to us. Until the time we don't apply what Krishna is speaking to us through devotees, our next step is checked. And what Krishna does is, Krishna will keep speaking the same thing again and again and again and again and again. I can tell you personal example, but I don't want them to be live. Can we pause it? Then I'll tell you a personal example. Are you willing to hear a personal example?
Yes.
It's about it's about how it is actually very difficult.
Can't pause, Prabhuji.
Huh?
Can't pause. It's going to end the stream.
Then leave it. Then Krishna doesn't want it.
Yeah, you can mute it.
Oh, yeah. Good point.
Yeah.
Every instruction that is given, letter of instruction, Srila Prabhupada books, everything one day we are going to follow. Think about it. How many rounds the Prabhupada used to chant before? 64. When he started preaching, whole day, we hear Prabhupada was chanting and praying for mercy. When he started preaching, he went to 60. And his focus was writing books. Right? What was Guru Maharaj's instruction? Read books, preach to Western people, it will be good for them, it will be good for you. And write and print and distribute. If you have money again, I will sell all the temple and then I will print and distribute. Actually, what Prabhupada did now, he as it is followed the instructions of his Guru. Every instruction he looked into his heart. Prabhupada met Saraswati Thakur 4-5 times, 6-7 times. So Thakur will say something to him. Ame Babu, go to the right, speak in English language, distribute my books. Whatever. And then he agreed everybody just in following the instruction of his Guru. This is a key to success. We are all not same people. We all have different natures. And one should enter service according to one's nature. And that is told to us by our superiors. And I'm sure we all have some superiors in our Krishna consciousness and the guidance practice. There is one example of when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was going to Gaya. There were many devotees and there was one associate of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who disrespected a Brahmana. And Brahmana said something and Mahaprabhu associate left. And then they went down. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became sick. And all the devotees at such level Mahaprabhu became sick that he was about to leave the earthly pastimes. In the earthly pastimes, he wanted that much sick he became. Then everybody like, how can we cure you? Mahaprabhu says, I want, if you give me water that has washed the feet of the Brahmana, that will cure my disease. So Mahaprabhu sent the same person who criticized the Brahmana to go to wash his feet, bring the water, he drank the water, he came out of his sickness. What is Mahaprabhu teaching? What is Mahaprabhu teaching?
Meditate, not to cause.
Respect devotees. We want to give up our mundane vision of seeing devotees and see devotees as worshipping them. If you want to focus, if you want, see, just see all the devotees around you and see what they feel about you. And if everybody has good feeling about you, you are progressing. Understand? No? See all the devotees around you who know you and see what they feel about you. Try to enter their heart and see what they think about you. If all of them are happy with you, no progress is guaranteed. Just try to please all the devotees around you. Even if somebody is critical to you, mentally or not, you can have if somebody is exploitative. His Sonia Sarga Swami Maharaj says respect from distance. Means respect does not go away. You can maintain distance, but respect is still there. Man Dena, unless we are practicing, Kirtanya Sadahani will not happen. See, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave only one verse how to chant the holy name. But the Prabhupada says, one should chant in a humble state of mind. Somebody says, what should be our mind state while chanting? Mahaprabhu has given us the key. No need of 100 seminars about how to chant the holy name. Practice this one. And Mahaprabhu said, put this verse like a kanti mala around your neck. Once you chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind. thinking oneself lower than a straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than tree. One should offer all respect to others and respect no respect for oneself. In that state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord continuously, constantly. If you think there is some other way to chant the holy name, then you are more intelligent than what you are. Understand? There is no way. Some people say, like, I will think about Radha Chandi. I will think about the form of my Guru Maharaj. And I will use some techniques to become deeper in my chanting. Come out of this ignorance. Nothing will work. What will work is already spoken by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Giving all respect to others, not expecting any respect for oneself. How difficult it is not expecting respect for oneself. Because Radha Swami Maharaj says, what is the most difficult among these four? What do you think? More humble than a straw in a street, more tolerant than a tree, giving all respect to others and not expecting any respect for oneself. What is the most difficult among these four?
Not expecting. Just
Okay. Most difficult. Not expecting respect for oneself. You know what is Prabhupada's definition of humility?
we always say that Krishna is infinite and this.
Very good, that's my definition. In Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada defined humility. Prabhupada said humility means, and then Prabhupada says, humility means not expecting respect for oneself. Is when Shivra Maharaj says, these are the four definitions of humility. If in all circumstances you are respecting others, you are practicing humility. Humility is not external fear. External fear means, Prabhuji, Charan Dhuniya, nothing else. You are very fond soul. And in the mind, this person I don't like. Then it's a show of humility, which is also good. Fake it till you make it. But real humility can be four things in practice. And that requires being very careful in devotee association. If you are surrounded by fire, be careful, right? Not to touch it. Some fan is rotating. When you go around, you're careful, right? And if the fan does not have that cage, then how careful you will be going around? And you will like that. Not very careful in dealing with devotees, in dealing with devotee association. Half to cut it. That fan will do his job. That's why everything actually is there in Chaitanya Shiksha. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave the ball in our court. And we practice first. See, the thing is, we are very expert in understanding the Shastra and speaking the Shastra. Huh? But we are not very expert in practicing the Shastra. Correct. And then we give the understanding. This also I know, and this is what I think this is. It's not about. It's not about information and giving information, receiving information. But this is about transformation. It is said that we should hear with the intent of applying. Hear the intent of applying. What do I do? What are my pitfalls? Where I am going wrong? Really spend some time and see how can I improve in those areas not over. How can I improve in those areas? Realize the key. There is another example. I'll tell you a story of of Shabari. How many have heard about Shabari? Anybody heard about Shabari? I'll tell you one interesting detail about Shabari. Ready? Shabari, old woman, disciple of Matanga Rishi. She has great faith in Vaishnavas. She respects every devotee. Matanga Rishi disciples. Matanga Rishi with his disciples, they went to Ayodhya, Vaikuntha, and they told Shabri that Lord Ram will personally come and deliver you. Till that time, be patient and continue your devotional service. So then what happened? There were some sages. Shabri service was that was a forest area. So there was path. The path is not like nice wood floor, clean. All the tree leaves would fall. So what Shabri would do every day, she will get up and clean the whole area so the saints can pass by. And she would feel herself so untouchable, so low, that if a Vaishnav see me, if a devotee see me, they'll be contaminated. Like the mode of Sanatana Goswami, we see Chaitanya Charitamrita. So one day she got up late. So she was cleaning, and one sage, there are many sages who live there. He was coming, he took, there was a lake, for those people living, those saints living in that forest. That lake is their source of washing clothes, bathing, water, everything is coming from that lake. It's a forest. So he took part in a lake, he was coming and he was going to his hermitage. And he was going and he was walking. He was not very conscious. He was just absorbed in chanting and some sadhana that he was doing. And by mistake he touched Shabari. And Shabari was late, so she was afraid that nobody should see me while I'm serving. And Shabari had a nature always. Before also, Shabari would bring all the wood from Matanga Rishi in front, keep the wood in front of Matanga Rishi ashram and disappear. And all of them were surprised, like, who is bringing the wood? The disciples would go. Matanga Rishi is a spiritual master. He would send his sages to go and get the wood. And then the disciples would go out and this the wood is already there. So it's like, you heard about story of Dukhi? When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Abhishek was going on, then Dukhi would bring the water from Ganga during that Mahapatash Leela. From Ganga to the house of Srivastava. And Mahaprabhu says, she is not Dukhi, she is Sukhi. She is becoming servant of devotee. That is neither servant of the Lord. Gopi Bhakti Pata comes out Dasa, Anudasa. So the more, it is said, the more servant you become, the more closer you are to Krishna. So she would do whatever is needed for the saints, she would do that. Matanga Rishi said, yes, whoever is doing this is very advanced. So find out. So they stood whole night to see, and late in the night somebody would come to become a servant of servant. And Matanga Rishi, I want to meet him. Then Matanga Rishi initiated him, although she was born in a Shudra family, like by caste. So the sage who was after Matanga Rishi left, the sage touched her and he sent Shudrani to Shabari. Party. You contaminated me. I have to take part in the lake. Shabari became scared. Shabari thought, the humility of Shabari was very natural. Shabari thought, I am so contaminated, I am contaminated with this sin. Now there is no way for me to attain perfection. Great, right? Shabari is Tiranavi Punichena. This saint is hypocrite. I am in a way practicing saint. Shabari is way more advanced than this saint. So he went to take bath again in the lake. When he entered the lake became filled with blood. The story comes in a book called Bhaktamala. It's about purification of devotees. So there is many devotee purification, one of them is Shabari. The lake was filled with blood. You know what did he thought? What did he thought? The saint. What was his interpretation? Why the lake become bloody? Because of
Because contamination is going out.
huh?
Maybe the contamination is going out and
Contamination is going out. Therefore, defending Shabari. Okay, very good. And you said because he offended Shabari.
No, because Shabari touched me.
Shabari touched him.
The whole lake is
That is what Prabhuji said. That's what he thought. He thought Shabari is such a contaminated lady that Because I touched her, even the lake could not take the contamination. What was the actual reason for lake to become bloody? Because he offended Shabali. That's why Lord Ram, withdrew all the facility also. Devotee displeased. अभी सफर करो सब लोग सफर करो everybody suffer because my devotee is displeased. But he thought that's how ego works. Understand how ego works? If it is my mistake also, I blame somebody else is responsible for my suffering. Then later on Lord Ram came. The same Lord Ram, somehow they know Lord Ram. Then that was okay at that time because Lord Ram was on the planet. That was acceptable. But that was rare occasion, but acceptable. So Lord Ram came and Lord Ram was asking, where is Shabbat? Shabbat. Why you? See, Shuddhani, a contemplative woman, our whole life is ruined because of her. Lord Ram, where is Shabbat? So Lord Ram went to her hermitage and she offered her very tasted by her and Lord Ram was sitting next to her and eating from her own hand. The berry that the Shabbat would taste. In forest, many berries are khatta. So he was offering Lord Ram was very pleased. All the sages made a group and came to Lord Ram, asking, please, we are suffering in this forest because of natural living conditions, not able to do anything. Then Lord Ram told them, you all should wash the feet of somebody. So somebody with ego, after with that mindset, the mindset is not pure. With that mindset to give up, to wash the feet of somebody, to wash the feet of somebody, when the Lord said, then everything will be okay. They went, lake was clear. Lord Ram took several went, all the three continued practicing sadhana. So Lord Ram is teaching, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is teaching how to respect ourselves. And if everybody around us is happy with us, your progress is very good. So Ramaprabhu gave a class, he said, don't collect curses. One devotee asked him, what if we collect curses, what will happen? Don't be why do you want to experiment? Result will not be good. Don't collect curses.
No, but it's not possible, right? Like you will have. Uh, I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm saying it's very hard for any normal devotee to not make please everyone.
There will be, see, one thing is we are acting out of envy. One thing is unavoidable situations. Unavoidable situation don't really depend on Krishna. Krishna will protect you. But in every situation depend on Krishna. But purposefully, don't purposefully try to displease by your behavior. Like for example, somebody says, "No, you take prasad." I say, "No, this is not my time to take prasad. Please forgive me, I cannot take prasad now." And they will feel that. You didn't take prasad. Now, I will get reaction for that also. Actually. Any devotee is displeased now, but if it is not out of envy, Krishna will protect you. Every situation, Krishna will protect you if you are doing it with a pure intention. But if we purposefully let our mind think or act or speak, then the action will be. You see, all the spiritual masters are very careful. See, all of them are very careful dealing with devotees. Okay, any discussion so far? Any discussion so far? Any other questions?
So, suppose you go, so even at the fourth now that it's meeting. So how do you cultivate that? Is that happening through our endeavor, or does that happen through Krishna's mercy?
It will happen with the advance. I am not advanced, but I'm giving you the answer. Because I'm just giving you a book answer. Why we want respect for ourselves? Why we want respect for ourselves?
Satisfy the ego. Possible.
False ego. I am the center. If I am the center, everything should be done for my pleasure. So if I am doing this, I must be glorified. I am leading Kirtan, I must be glorified. I am giving class, I must be glorified. I am cooking, my cooking must be glorified. You see, there's always a mixture of anything I do with self. Ideally, what should be our consciousness? Kirtan is to glorify Krishna. Any form, whether it is Kirtan or class, cooking is to please Krishna. What is the right consciousness for everything is pleasing Krishna. But how much is our in our consciousness the service we do is pleasing Krishna and how much is I am the center? How many times we do a service for the sake of pleasing Krishna? And how much percentage in that is sometimes we pray also for that please why? Because I need to be pleased also. Hare Krishna. You understood my point? What I'm trying to say? When the transition happens, when we go out of Janasya Mohayan Aham Mameti and we start thinking more about pleasing Krishna. See? When we are actually in that conscious of pleasing Krishna, we are not much concerned about ourselves. I goes out, Krishna comes into the center. When that will happen? This answer is given by Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur Madhya Kadambini. I love it. He says, Anatha Nivrati, everything for myself. Nishtha, slightly for the pleasure of Krishna, mostly for myself. Can you believe that? Nishtha also, I am doing something for Krishna is very slight. Ruchi, middle, something for me, something for Krishna. Ashakti, I am doing something for myself very slight. So when that stage will come, when I am not thinking about myself, I am doing it only for the pleasure of Krishna. Based on that, what Krishna Chakravarti Thakur says, we should try to cultivate. But like Robert Maharaj says, there is no solution to maturity in Krishna consciousness. There is no replacement. It's not like now after one class and this will happen, I start acting like that will be there, that will be there, that will be there. And that is there. Pure Nam won't come. It's true for me, I am also studying Sadhana, but the principle is it. Understood the principle. Okay, that's why the Prabhu Swami says, Usaha Nishaya Dhyaya Tattva Karma Pravartana. Then, उत्साह निश्चय धैर्य तत्कर्म प्रवर्तन साधना त्याग सतोवृत्ति षड्विध भक्ति other things are षड्विध भक्ति विनश्यति विनाश हो इन छह से प्रसिद्धति उद्धार हो the answer is it's a very high principle we can try to apply but it is a careful process. Shortcut meaning. But Shavanam, again and again, will help us. Try, let me be careful, let me be careful. We can speed our progress by our attitude, by our sincerity, by our desire, by our prayers. We can shorten the path of sadhana. But ultimately, we have to reach those stages to come out of that. Is it right?
I was thinking about giving the respect on our mental, at least in mentally,
Mind.
giving in the mind, giving respect to the Kanishtabhis. So I was thinking that when we come across the people where probably there is a conflict of interest or whatever, right? So you probably what do you do exactly to kind of not physically also offend them? Because if physically offending and mentally giving respect doesn't match or go along, so how do you avoid? I mean, you just avoid that situation, just taking excuse and then move out of that space so that you don't commit any
So what's the
offense.
situation? Somebody criticizes.
Not able to criticize, but some cases maybe you are in talking to someone and he probably started talking criticizing somebody else. So you don't want to be there, but in the same case you don't want to get into a conflict where you have to disrespect him and then make some offenses. So you probably in that situation, mentally giving a respect doesn't come very easily. You have to have some respect to that situations that where you are kind of thinking that he is not in a position where I can physically give respect to him. But I have to maintain distance. So you have to. So in those situations, what do you do? Just get excuse, make excuse, and come out of the situation so that
Depends on who they are. Are they under your guidance? Are they equal? Are they your seniors? If they are your seniors, Krishna is telling you something today. And respectable seniors, not necessarily. A definition of senior is whom you see them in high respect and you have full faith and trust in them.
but they will not be then considered.
Not conditionally. I'm just giving you the example of when somebody is criticizing. Because then, in what situation, how do we deal? If they're your seniors, superiors, and if they say something, accept it as coming from Krishna, Krishna want me to learn something. Sometimes we attend this at GBC college and there are few that ISKCON committee, that ISKCON leaders, Prabhupada decided they organize and you have to go and be part of it. And they say, what are the problems that happened in ISKCON in the past? This sannyasi did like this, he did like this, and he got up like this, he got into this. Why they are telling this? Not in order to criticize them. But you should not be doing it. Understood that? So when it comes from senior, then you see that as okay, you are understanding what will be the outcome of what. It's a training. You are learning what not to do. Coming from senior, it's fault finding. But the purpose is not to criticize, the purpose is not envy. The purpose is to learn something. Like Srimad Bhagavatam is full of fault findings also. Indra did like this and he spoke like this and this and that. But the purpose is learn from Indra's mistake. Indra became proud, Indra acted a false ego. So in a way we say, he's a very proud person. There is a fault there.
Yeah, not to develop hatred for Indra, but learning from that. What he is.
Sukdev Goswami said, Maharaj Parikshit, he is humbly listening, he is humbly speaking, but the mood is growth. His mood is to help Parikshit Maharaj. Parikshit Maharaj's mood is not what to learn from that situation. When it comes from senior, respectfully take and don't resist. No, I should run away from there. Then again, it's a sign of immaturity. Because they are telling something, they are telling for our benefit. Now, if it is coming from equal and they're your friend, you can cut them there. Because this is not good. Like, I have a friend, we were roommates, and if you say something, I said, Prabhu, this will lead to our fall down. If I say something, he says, Shyamananda, what are you talking? This word is not good, don't use this word. This is like friend. So because there is a relationship, cut it. And they won't mind. If they are like, if they're your, if you are cultivating them, then you guide them, then you listen. Because they're suffering, then you listen. Okay, I understand. And then you don't judge the person for whom they are speaking. Because it is said that don't conclude based on one person's speaking. Because they're giving their perspective, another person will have their perspective next. So the purpose not to conclude, purpose how to help them So there, mind becomes peaceful. Then again, it's a service to listen. Yeah. But if it's just anybody and everybody, and they just have a habit, then respectful nothing. This is not good for them. Still respect this thing. Is it okay? Anything else? Anybody else? Okay. And many slides, but if somebody has some discussion, some questions, situations, circumstances.
So probably about the chanting, right? So you gave your personal example, but that question always comes to your mind as well. So the 64 rounds, right? Taking a vow to do that, that oh, I will do every day. This struck to my mind because in the morning we had a discussion about Bhagavad Gita, one of the slokas. But Srila Prabhupada is saying that with the name of holy name, we should not get inertia in us that we don't have to do other services. So don't put inertia in the name of holy name. That was a very strong statement coming in from Srila Prabhupada because the discussion was between Arjuna and Krishna. Arjuna is saying, you gave me so much of knowledge, intellectual discussions happened, and now you are saying that you go and then do this activity which I don't like, to kill others. So that is where Srila Prabhupada is saying that, that discussion is coming where Srila Prabhupada is saying yes. So that is where I was thinking that, definitely the other activities where, our mission or our ISKCON, the mission that is Srila Prabhupada has given us is not to just close doors and then do chanting and then you will be happy. So you have to also give it to others. So these 64 rounds, it might be sometimes needed for you to purify yourself. Sometimes we sit back saying, today I will give my day to do 64 rounds because I think I am degrading on, my sadhana, right? Sometimes, but other times we probably give importance to other services because those are more important for our purification. But we don't compromise on our 16 rounds, right? Because 16 rounds is what is the best, yeah, hardcore, which Srila Prabhupada has given. So my question is, sometimes, I generally I don't take that kind of vows, which is not very determined. I mean, which is not very much, just like you told, right? It is not instructed. Is it that instruction for me, right? If it is mentioned somewhere, so my situation is completely different than somebody else. Somebody is staying in a ashram and then completely practicing bhakti, has a very different responsibility than me in a family life. So with that, so sometimes this is one of the things, right? So one is doing a 64 rounds is this, but can we also take some other vows? Like, I mean, okay, my life, I want to give my life every other day. I want to go and then do food distribution, or I want to go and then do this food, per soul, or maybe something like that. So is it also, have to be, we have to also take guidance and then be very sure about what vows we are taking in our life or other services that we are doing?
It can come from Paramatma. It can come from the. But when you feel, when you discuss with somebody and you feel, and some instruction comes from somebody, then think about it. Think about there is something that needs to be done and that is getting neglected because I became very attached to a particular kind of service and we consider it. It's like become very flexible there. It's okay to take it up because coming and I'm feeling very encouraged. Ultimately, the parameter is chanting. And actually, chanting is improving. And we are receiving a lot of muscle credit, very good. Otherwise, when I see that after some time, I feel discouraged. And then see the hand of Krishna in everything that happens in your life. Somebody says something. What does Krishna want to tell me through this? A pure devotee does not see anybody acting out of anartha, lust, and anybody even acts out of any anartha. A pure devotee sees What is Krishna can do teach me? Is there something to change? Because he conspiracies like Prabhupada, that person told Prabhupada, Swamiji, the problem with you is you pray too much. Take care of your health, you go for morning walks. So Prabhupada took that as Krishna telling him, take to morning walk. Prabhupada sacrificed his morning time. You know, any devotee for them, the morning time is. He hate Prabhupada there, and he is a materialist. Only health, he has no spirituality. And he hate Prabhupada there. You know. Problem with you guys is to pray too much. I mean, they don't understand the position of Bhaktivedanta Swami. He just said out of his health care kind of thing. Prabhupada doesn't come from Krishna. When this magazine is doing that, you should print book that people will read. Okay. But at the same time, you don't have to follow each and everything that people say. Because it is said that a person who is developing connection with Paramatma is self-guided also. Because Paramatma is guiding him. Then you know if it's resonating with you. You know, this thin line. Okay, we can cry. But when somebody says, what does Krishna mean? Two, three comments, what does Krishna mean? And then see if one option is to take guidance, but if you are in a role that you have to make a decision, then try to listen to Paramatma on how can I best serve in this particular situation. And sometimes we don't make decision and we just wait because ultimately whatever Krishna wants will only happen. Night time we think this how it should be. For a period of time we see whatever Krishna doesn't want, those ideas will fail or some problems, some obstacles will come and only one thing will remain clearly with the Krishna wants. Some people sometimes we do construction for our center. This should be here, this should be here. All right. You guys try whatever. You want bathroom there, put out both the place, no problem. No anxiety, why? Somewhere somebody wants to put some obstacle will come. Krishna is always active. Just seeing and depending on Krishna will like Krishna will like. And things depend on Krishna. That thing will only happen. When we know Krishna is in control, then nobody. When we take responsibility on ourselves and see if I can make or break things, then there is an ahankara vimudatma karta. There's no need of thinking of making break Krishna will come in picture. I think yes, please.
So I'm like trying to understand certain things from the picture of a chariot
Okay.
structure. Where there are five senses, then there is a rope which is considered the mind, and then there is a Japa, and then there is Shiva. So like from personal observations, you see like the senses are running in a certain direction, mind has its own rigidity, intellect doesn't function. Uh, and it says like engage your senses in devotion service, like eat prasadam, listen shravanam, look at Krishna. Still the union doesn't happen. The rigidity is still there for some uh, uh,
Even to control the senses.
yeah. Not control the senses, but like even then, even when senses are in control, like the mind's rigidity is something else.
Mind inclination.
Inclination,
Okay.
and even if you think of shastras and everything, like mind has its own direction. So like
Can you explain that? If you look from Shastra, mind is own direction.
it's like if you read Bhagavad Gita, you try to understand that.
Your understanding will be based on how you interpret the verses.
Yeah, even though you understand it properly, you try to kind of like convince your mind like, okay, probably this is what Shastra is saying, but like uh, uh, the rigidity is so much that, and sometimes like you like the time of being in consciousness, like it's very small, and unconscious state is like is the majority of the time, and like so I'm trying to explain a state of mind where or state of condition, and how do you actually uh, the subtle like the rigidity of the mind when at what state or stage that it does come down and it actually starts engaging in Krishna service.
Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur says, another ability, a lot of energy goes in counteracting the demands of mind and senses. The mind has to learn, what is not good and what is. A lot of energy goes there. But when energy goes away, distress stage, then you can focus on developing your Krishna consciousness. The mind does not pose, it will pose obstacle here and there, it does not take a lot of your energy. Energy goes in how to respect Krishna consciousness, how to serve Krishna, how to progress in your Krishna consciousness. So if your question is at what stage that will come, it will gradually slow down. The demands of mind and senses gradually slow down. Now, in our state, talking about myself, what can we do? Keeping oneself busy, performing activities that will increase our goodness. One thing that increases our goodness is hearing pure vibrations. You have an option to hear the one your spiritual master, your aspiring or Srila Prabhupada, pure vibration. Bring me the goodness. Associating with the morning hours, bring me the goodness. Remaining time, keeping yourself busy. Revealing our mind to somebody who else. Somebody you have faith and confidence and you don't feel shy. Somebody you know who won't judge you, but you're well wisher. That way it helps. Another thing it says, engaging the senses in the service of the Lord purifies the senses. You see the form of Radha Kalachandi, eyes becomes purified. Smelling the nose, the tongue, when the senses are engaged in service of the Lord, become purified. Like those who have deities, like Bala Prabhu has beautiful garment. When you are absorbing yourself in blessing them properly, you lose the desire to bless yourself. Anything you do, it will become spiritualized. And Krishna will come in the center, in the center, in the center. Prabhupada says the sadhana has to be strict. There is an example of Kala Krishna Das. You heard about CC, past time of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, South India travel. Heard about it? No. Yeah, so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to South India. He had a son with Kala Krishna Das. Kala Krishna Das became attracted by another religious sect who would attract people through woman enticement. He left that association to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went there. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu felt himself responsible for Kala Krishna Das because Kala Krishna Das was associated with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu thought, but he like, how will I show my relation with that? So he went and he picked Kala Krishna Das from the Bhattadharis, who was a group of religious sect, brought them and he did not speak to Kala Krishna Das. They even said he hated Kala Krishna Das. But he gave him protection till he came back. And then he told to Advaita Acharya and others that I reject him because he rejected you. That's why I rejected. And they were like, devotees are more merciful than Krishna himself. So they engaged him in the service of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by sending him to Bengal to give the messages of Mahaprabhu's return. So Prabhupada says that unless we are determined with the supreme personality of Godhead cannot help us. So determination is our part. Now, every living entity has determination. There are determination in three modes as per Lord Krishna. Determination is mode of ignorance, never go beyond dreaming. I will go to the Krishna. After 2 years, I will go. 4 years, I will go. 10 years, I will go. When will you go? I will go. It's like dreaming only. One day, that day never comes. Determination, I will really want to do something, but I don't do anything about it. The determination mode of passion is not realized. Was in a passion could determine great determination. Otherwise, how will he finish Brahma, Om Namo Brahma Devaya, Om Namo Brahma Devaya? How long? Unlimited. His body has no flesh. Determination is required. Have you seen any successful materialist? They eat little, they sleep little, they're very focused. One devotee met out, very big industrialist in Grand Rapids. And 2 minutes, this person told him 20 ways how to make money. 2 minutes. Don't waste a single moment. Very focused. Actually, maybe more focused than devotees, but in a different direction. You cannot be so much focused in our bhakti. But they are very successful. They are very determined. But Bhogeshwara Prasattana Maya Pahanita Chekasam. Those whose mind are very attached to sense gratification and opulence. Determination for devotional service does not take place in their lives. Why? Because they are super determined in that direction. There is no determination for this. Those who are very determined in their spiritual life, like Prabhupada, very determined to spread Krishna consciousness. Or there are so many devotees, very determined in serving Krishna. Then they don't have determination to accumulate wealth and sense gratification. They don't think about it, but they're so focused in this direction. Determination has determination, Prabhupada says, when you do Prabhupada, we don't have determination, Prabhupada says animals don't have determination. Animals mostly ignorance. So ignorance, no determination. Passion and goodness determination is there, but differently directed. Those who are determined here, they will lack serious determination for making progress in spiritual life. Those who become determined here, they won't be determined in that direction. Or some may be determined like, I really want this, and I do this also. Then the mixed bucket will keep going on. Something like that. So determination is needed, and we all have determination. Directed. And little practice of Krishna consciousness will increase your determination here. Pure determination will come as the heart becomes pure. It will be a pull from within, and we just will be forced to put energy in this direction, and as we become free from illusion, illusion is very big another. Yesterday we were discussing. Lord Krishna says in second chapter to Arjuna, when your intelligence is free from the dense forest of illusion, then you will become indifferent to all that is heard and all that is to be. You will become indifferent to all that you have heard and all that is to be heard. You will become indifferent once your intelligence is free from the dense forest of illusion. Why? Because then once we start seeing at a more deeper level, spiritual level, I'm eternally part and parcel of Krishna, and whatever is happening is basically interaction of mind, emotions, and everything is temporary. So, what is your name? Your name?
Sri Krishna Chaitanya.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu. Suppose if I don't like him, and suppose he doesn't like me, after 50 years, I won't be there. I'm already 40. Prabhuji also looks like cross 40 long back only. After 50 years, he won't be there. All our emotions that we have between us have no value. Because I am gone, he is gone. What is the value of those emotions? You understand? And then if we keep on dealing with those emotions only, they're all on a very external level. Just because of illusion.
It's this illusion that I was talking about. More precisely put it into words, like the rigidity of the emotions in the mind, like it's very difficult to control.
They're very external. He's my son. There's no illusion. He's your son. Or he's my son. How long that relationship last? Oh, my son is not doing well. I really want him to be very successful. And he make lot of money, and he and son can become brahmachari as a son, but my son should be very successful in real life. And he has this like this. How long? I will be gone. He will be gone. Relationship also gone. Even if somebody is in problem, how long the problem will remain? They are gone. Problems are also gone. Our life is on an emotional level. Every dense forest of illusion. Now Krishna says, when your intelligence becomes free from the dense forest of illusion, you become indifferent. Just every word that Krishna speaks is very powerful actually. Just contemplate on it. I went to a yatra, Tisugri Sarana Swami Maharaj. Maharaj was mentioning, after 40 years also we realize I'm not practicing second chapter of Bhagavad Gita itself. This is, if Bhagwan is speaking something, Guruji, this is Bhagwan speaking. It's not Shyamananda, Krishna Das or XYZ speaking, it's Bhagwan speaking something. That is at a very high level, every word Krishna speaks very high level. But we can access that to our limited, murky concept. That's why Prabhupada always emphasizes Bhagavad Gita has to be understood in association with devotees. What happens through a devotee association? We have Bhakti Viksha here, I guess, right? Through devotee association, we will understand Bhagavad Gita way more deeper level. Why? We have years of experience is coming to us and we get way more benefit in what I read with my translation. And the more we grow, the more you will see value. Every time I read Bhagavad Gita, I'm like, oh, this I never understood. Because after 1 year, I mean, every year, we continuously keep discussing about Bhagavad Gita anyway. It's our, law book professor. So it never give me a law book. Every time it's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Oh yeah, that makes sense. So recently focusing on this words. When you're in vision, oh, so deep. Otherwise, I read the same verse 100 times and I remember that verse also. Correct. All those were practicing for 10 years or more. They probably know all the translations, if not the Sanskrit. Or if somebody says, this is there in this chapter, they have some hold of it. But that is not sufficient. Because understanding is not there. Or some understanding is not there. All right. Yes, please.
Similar question is on the same line. Like we listen so many classes, and sometimes we listen many classes during the day and here and there. But we and the other time we are like engaged in our work or daily activities. But we don't get much time to really put those knowledge, what we heard, what we know, into practice. Like how do we make sure that in our regular life or regular things, how do you put that into practice, like our knowledge, so that we can grow?
Probably knowledge is a part of revelation. What does Krishna say about knowledge? How is knowledge given? How is knowledge received? Bhagavad Gita example again. Basic succession. Okay. Another, I'm looking for one particular answer from which chapter was that? One of third, fourth, or fifth. I'm thinking fifth chapter. Fifth chapter, what does Krishna say? What is the cause of sinful activities? Lust. Okay, thank you. I want more answers. What is the cause of sinful activities? Why do we commit sin or break regular principle? Why do we do that? What is the cause? Envy, desire, false ego. See, every answer is correct. But then I'm looking for the answer that Krishna says.
Last time,
तो जी पूरा summarize कर देंगे. What is the cause of sinful activity? Attachment. Yes, please. What is the cause of sinful activity? Breaking regulatory principles or anything. What is the cause? Huh? To enjoy. Then every answer is correct. What is that?
But he says particularly the lost only which makes the person to do the simple activity.
Yes. Okay, correct. Fifth chapter. Krishna says the cause of Krishna's okay hint. Krishna says, I am not responsible for the good or bad that comes. Like verse also comes there. Prakriti kriyamanani gunakarni sarvasai ahankara vimudatma kartaniti vandati. Also false ego thinking is the doer of the activities which are actually be controlled by the also material nature. And why he engages in those activities because of and Rupa Goswami also says, how many of you have read Nectar of Devotion, Bhakti Shastri? Some of you. In the beginning, do you remember the cycle of sin? There is Bijam, there is Kutam, there is Falonmukham. And then what is the cause of the whole sin cycle? This Bhakti Shastra illusion exam. Huh? Desire. Okay, but the desire is Kutam actually. Whatever sinful desire I have is coming from a previous sinful activity. We are discussing Ajamin was attracted because of his previous bad karma. Was attracted to prostitute. That was his bad karma. That he got that desire. Desire itself is fed by a sinful activity. And what is the root cause of wrong? Previous? That is also there. Also feeling there. Should I open up? So answer ignorance. And we've heard that. Rupa Goswami clearly mentions ignorance is the cause of the cycle of sin. Krishna says one is doing this and one is because of ignorance. Clearly Krishna says ignorance. Clearly Rupa Goswami says ignorance. But we understand in some other ways. Clearly he says ignorance.
Shows our ignorance. Shows our ignorance.
Let's see the Shastra, no word they use without a reason actually. Now how Krishna says we come out of ignorance? Krishna says by knowledge. And Krishna says, just like the sun removes the darkness, likewise the knowledge removes the ignorance. That is clear. First he defines the problem, then he says ignorance. Then the next verse he says how to gain knowledge. How do you can answer that? Through spiritual master. That is one chapter before. 433. This fifth chapter, verse number around 15-16. How do we come out of ignorance, Krishna says? That is fourth chapter. In this chapter, it's a whole flow. And then he says, one who come out of that ignorance, and the result is Vidya Vinaya Sampanya Namanika Vihastanya Srimachava Subhakacha Pandita Samadarshana. You will get that. Ignorance is stopping us. Once you remove ignorance by knowledge, once you gain knowledge by filling the blanks, then you can practice Vidya Vinaya Sampanya Namanika Vihastanya. Now, what is the fill in the blanks?
Self.
Huh?
And the self or soul, the proper perspective of who I am, like a servant of Krishna.
By understanding of servant of Krishna, how do you gain knowledge? What is a practice? Okay. Practice. Okay. What does Krishna say? How do we gain knowledge? Ganesh is always at the top list, so he's quickly over this fifth chapter, verse 56, how to gain knowledge. Yes, anybody remembers? I tell you the verse also. When, however, one is enlightened with the knowledge by which nations is destroyed, then his knowledge reveals everything. As the sun lights up everything in a day. This is clear. Now the next verse. Ready? When one's intelligence, mind, and faith and refuge are all fixed in the Supreme, then one becomes fully cleansed of misgiving through complete knowledge and thus proceeds straight on the path of liberation. And then the humble said by the virtue of knowledge sees with equal vision. devotional service to Krishna. Krishna does not gain knowledge by reading. How is knowledge given? Knowledge is the path of revelation. Devya Gyan. Does it say Devya Gyan? Shastra reading से आता है. दिव्य कहाँ से आता है? हृदय से आता है. Knowledge is not a part of village. Knowledge is not acquired. Knowledge is something that is coming from within. It's a part of revelation. And there through devotional service. God Krishnavaji Maharaj said, if you chant sincerely, you will understand everything. Who was the Acharya of Bhagavad Gita? According to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Who was the Acharya of Bhagavad Gita? Acharya of Bhagavad Gita. South Indian. In Acharya of Bhagavad Gita based on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told him, who was the Acharya of Bhagavad Gita? Try to understand what Mahaprabhu is trying to say. He could not read the verses, he could not understand anything. Mahaprabhu told him that the Acharya of Bhagavad Gita means it is not acquired through knowledge. It is acquired to bhakti. He has bhakti in his heart. Mahaprabhu is the Acharya of Bhagavad Gita. Devotional service. Okay, so there are many signals that it's time to end. Time is also passed. If I spoke anything wrong, please forgive my humble servant. One chakal patali desha, upasana devacha, patitana pahamani, Aranda petition, Thank you.
Shri Shyamananda Krishna Prabhu ki started from Japa and ended with Bhagavad Gita. Always Bhagavad Gita is